Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We will just hang out here for a second and see who pops on with us. Hello. If you can see and hear me okay, just give me a hello in the comments. Oh, Sarah Milne is here. I'm going to let her in right now. Hey, Sarah, we're live.
Hi. It didn't come on my computer for some reason, so I've had to put iPad. It didn't come. So here we are.
Here we are. We are here. We are live. It is the Astro Forecast for the week of June 27th. So from like Sunday to through the week. This is the Astro Forecast for that. So thank you so much for being here. I apologize ahead of time that I have a cold, a regular standard cold, so I sound a little funny, and I'm going to do my best to not cough in the camera. So that is where we're at. So if you don't know me, I'm Anna with the Sisters Enchanted. I'm the co-founder here, and I'm with Sarah Milne. She helps with Team Sisters Enchanted here, and she's also a co-teacher in our Expedition Astrology program, and hangs out in all of our groups and helps with delivery of our holistic witchery program and all sorts of amazing magical things. So good morning, Sarah.
Hello.
Good afternoon for you.
It is. It's afternoon. I'm just quickly getting, here we go, because I had my notes already on my iPad and I was waiting for you to send us the link on my computer, but for some reason it didn't come through, but it was there on my iPad. So right, I'm set. Now I've just had to switch notes on computer.
Don't worry.
I thought Mercury retrograde is over, but here we go.
Right. Never. It's like maybe it's a little bit of a
shadow.
It's leaving a little bit of a shadow energy.
That's right. I think so. So, but we seem to be
so
good.
When you're
with no echoes at the minute, so maybe the iPad's better. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, you look really bright today too.
Yeah, maybe StreamYard works best on the iPad.
Maybe.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, we can go right on into it. So It looks like this Sunday, we have a Mars opposition Saturn.
Yeah, it's all Mars this week. It's Mars doing its thing this week. Mars in Leo. So that should give us a lot of confidence with our asserting ourselves into the world and with our kind of motivation and our willful behavior. Perhaps a little bit overconfidence. We might feel frustrations because we're really raring to go and other things can get in the way. We've been talking all the time about houses, and my house still has not completed. We have another in the UK right now. We have this there was a holiday on a certain tax that you pay when you buy houses, and that ends on 30th next week, and apparently there are 200,000 people trying to complete right now, so everything has just gone overload, nothing's happening. So I'm certainly feeling that Mars opposition of Saturn frustrations here. So we might feel that with Mars opposition, because we've talked about oppositions before, but anyone who is new here today, opposition is literally this tug of war between two energies that are kind of come on, we're trying to coexist here, but I'm pulling at you and it's not quite what's going to win kind of thing, just like a tug of war. And so with Mars opposite Saturn are kind of like Mars that
Sarah's sound did just go, so we'll see. She was talking about how with Mars opposition Saturn, there's this tug of war kind of action going that can lead to just some frustration and disappointment. And Saturn's super wants to be strict and wants to kind of hold on to things and have order. And Mars is a little bit more let's break down some barriers.
That's right.
Dive in, horns down, right, Sarah? Let's see if Sarah comes back on with sound. But yeah, so there will be some, if you're getting frustrated with things, it could be a time where you might have a hard time really expressing yourself, and you might need to take some deep breaths and some patience, because Saturn is going to demand that there are some structures and patience, and Mars in Aries is not going to want to be. And look, it's Sarah. So yeah, so there are what? Hi. Hi.
Sarah Milne.
Oh, Sarah. Yeah, Sarah, your sound's still not working.
So Saturn and Mars we were just talking about?
Yeah, oppositions. So not quite coming together. So Mars is going to want to take things down. Saturn's going to be like, whoa, Nelly.
So I think that's really, and when does that start?
That starts on Sunday.
That starts Sunday. So is this like a retrograde where the energy builds like in advance? Like with Mercury retrograde, we have the shadow period, right? The before and the after.
Well, I think it's fair to say that anything that happens astrologically, it kind of just like ebbs into it, and you will feel a little bit, just like when people are like, hey, the full moon in Capricorn was yesterday, can I still charge my crystals tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you can, because there's still like that energy, and like we were just saying with the Mercury retrograde, there's still that like shadow period that's happening right now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was asking Anna about like shadow periods to these events, like how we have the shadow to Mercury retrograde, because with that like structure, but then wanting to bust everything up, I know that it's like just today alone, every 5 minutes, I'm like, we need another spreadsheet. I don't want any spreadsheets.
And we're still in that square, Saturn square Uranus energy all this year, and it's kind of like it came to its like exact square last week, and then we get another exact square in December because of all these retrogrades. So we're all in this state where our real structures are being pulled apart, being rebuilt, and hopefully by December we'll see kind of where that was all going, and we'll settle back down into these new structures. So remember, everything we're talking about with these other planets, it's all happening together. So this kind of Mars opposition Saturn is coming in that same kind of energy as that whole Saturn square Uranus, where it's changing things. So it might be that Saturn square Uranus kind of broke up some structures for us, and we want to move forward, but now we've got this pull with our motivation and our will for action with Saturn, and so we can get really frustrated. And we have to remember with this energy that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and that Mars wants us to get to the end of all these frustrations we've all been feeling. Get to the end of it. I want it just to end right now. I want to wake up tomorrow morning, I want everything to be calm, but it's not going to be. So we have to remember that Mars wants to be a sprint right now. Saturn is saying no, come on, this is a marathon. Just take it easy, Mars. But Mars is like, no, I will not take it easy. I want to just bulldoze through everything and everyone that's on my way, that's in my way. And Saturn's like, yeah, but you can't, remember, you can't do that. So, but that's this. We're really going to feel that this week. And also we might feel that because of these frustrations, we are feeling angry about things, but we might find it quite difficult because Saturn's going to come and don't vent that anger. Remember, be responsible adult here. Just stay chilled. This is a marathon. But Mars is like,
right. Well, we talk about in excuse me, that we have talked about in the past that Mars is the god of war in Roman mythology. And think about anything that Mars, that god of war, if he's on the battlefield and he wants to go, and this is sole duty to win the fight.
Yes.
Having somebody come up behind him and like hold him back and say, no, we have to think strategically. Like Mars is going to be like, no, I'm here to win. Like I'm here. I don't need a plan. I am ready. And that's what that opposition is like. It's like somebody coming back being like, no, it's not time yet. It's not time.
That's exactly it. And the best thing to do during this energy is to find things like exercise and things like that to just get that feeling out of you. Like I am feeling, because of Saturn square Uranus has completely blown my life apart. It really has, and it will be for the better, but it is a very difficult time. And I know that I have that real can't breathe parts in my chest feeling all the time. So really, and this Mars Saturn pull is not going to help that. So you need to do things to get rid of that, like exercise, go for a run if you can, a bike ride, a bit of yoga, anything like that. That's going to work that out, because Mars is also the god of physical activity. So physical activity is a really good thing to do to get that feeling out, because with this everything that's been going on, and it will be going on throughout this entire year, Saturn square Uranus, and now the Saturn opposition to Mars, it's not going to be something that you can just fix quickly. It's not going to be something that, you know, sometimes we can pull a few cards, hold a crystal, and it'll fix it, but it won't. You're going to have to find a way to vent that feeling of frustration and panic almost, because it will, this is that marathon time. So you've got to find ways of just getting rid of that to vent that thing. Exercise is perfect.
I know Sarah was just sitting here and she's left, but we excuse me again, that we joke sometimes that Sarah goes out and does some rage yard work, and she does some like weeding and like pulling up like things, because like she just has to get this like outlet. It needs to just, you know. And I know we were talking the other day in one of our co-witching sessions about going out for like a rage jog. Yes. And like just going out and just like really, even if you can only do it for like 15 seconds, like just really get out there and like run.
Absolutely. Shout as well, sing loudly, all these things.
Yeah.
It's out. Right, okay. Now let me just get back to planning this marathon. So,
yes.
And like if you've ever run marathons, you know you hit walls at a certain time as well. Like the wall of the marathon run, that moment where you feel I cannot carry on. I'm absolutely exhausted. I have to stop. And you have to nourish yourself. When you hit the wall in a marathon, you have to take on some more like fuel. So I think that's something to think about right now. Like we have had this eclipse, we are in this Saturn square Uranus cycles. Both of these cycles end in December. So we are now in that kind of, okay, we've had 2 face-offs of each of those journeys, and now we're kind of like, this is the final one, but this is that last bit of the marathon, which is quite hard work. So think about how you're going to nourish yourself as well, how you're going to vent that, and also how you're going to nourish yourself to keep going too. I think is very important with this energy right now.
Right. It's not let your anger get the best of you, not let that fire overtake you. Because it's Mars is in Leo, is that right?
Mars is in Leo, yeah.
Right. And so really you don't want to get too like overconfident or let that shadowy ego overset and just like make you come at things in a way that aren't going to serve you in the long run. So some patience, some deep breaths. If you're getting frustrated, getting annoyed, you're struggling, it's a good time to, like Sarah said, take a deep breath, take a walk.
Yeah.
Close the bathroom door and scream.
Yeah,
all those good things.
Water's great because we've got too much fire here as well. Too much fire, and water is great for fire. It's like if you think about anything fiery, like a fiery sore or a fiery itchy rash, that you put emollient on it, you put water on it to just like calm it down. And the sun is in Cancer, so we can just draw on that kind of water energy to just like calm. So water work. Go to the water, drink water, have water crystals, all that kind of stuff is really, really good.
Go flex your inner child to go run around a splash pad. Yeah. That's 2 birds, 1 stone. Run, get some cool mist while also running.
Or swimming would be great. Yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely.
So Mars opposition Saturn.
Yeah, and then we also, from Monday to Thursday, we have Mars square Uranus, because of course Mars is in this kind of Saturn Uranus, like it's between, it's opposite Saturn, it's also square Uranus. So this is going to give us that strong urge to break free from restriction, and things that are restricting, we feel are restricting us in our life. Mars is just like, because that square, when we talked about the boxing ring, these 2 like energies are kind of like pushing each other in corners and trying to loggerheads and shoving each other into corners. And sometimes it might be that you're in Uranus's corner, so you're like, right, I'm going to break free, and you're in Mars's corner, like I'm going to just do my thing. So but both of those energies are very much kind of like, make changes but against authority. So, and especially because at the same time as this, Saturn is opposite Mars, so you've got that pull against authority. So we really are, I think, this week going to have that strong urge to break free from things that we feel restrict us, maybe rebel against authority a little bit, but because Mars really wants to go, like Anna said, in that battlefield, just go, it doesn't matter, like do or die, I'm gonna go, and if I get killed in this battle, I don't care, I'm just gonna go. So we might have a tendency to just act quickly and rashly without considering those consequences. So that Saturn opposition is there for a reason right now, because it's trying to say to Mars, look, yeah, okay, I know you're squaring Uranus right now, I've been doing that too, I know that's tricky, I know that Uranus wants us just to rebel, I know that Mars, I can take that better than you can, Mars. Mars, you want to just go. And I'm telling you, stop and think and consider your consequences, face your truth, face your responsibilities. That's going to all be happening. And for this, it's really good to be inventive, to put that energy into creation, and not just creation as in paintings, but if you are in a situation in your life right now which is difficult, you can, like, this is a good time to think, because especially because we're at Mars in Leo, there's great creative energy. This is a great time to think, like, how can I have a creative breakthrough through this position? How can I think around it and think, okay, this is the situation I'm in. This is like rebelling against authority. Maybe you're in a workplace where you're like, that boss drives me nuts. That's not me. I love my boss. But it could be, I have been in the past when I was working in schools. You don't want to just sort of go to your head teacher and go, you know what, no, in a way rude. So, but maybe you can be creative, make you think, okay, well, this is what I want to do. I want to do something in the curriculum that's a bit different. You want me to stick to this curriculum here, but is there a creative way that I can stick with your curriculum and also bring in a little bit of what I'm trying to say to these students? You know, that kind of thing. There's creative ways of kind of like being able to butt against these restrictions or authority a little bit here. So think creatively about this.
Yeah, that is it's again that kind of reminder that when you want to kind of bust free and kind of like act out, that just being reminded that even though like you're really wanting to like impulsively do something, to try to take a breath, or like Sarah said earlier, to take a walk, or to try to find a creative way around the impulsive nature that we oftentimes want to have, that this Mars square Uranus is going to just kind of magnify, because we all have like a slightly impulsive nature, and it's just going to be magnified, and to find really good workarounds. I do see somebody in the comments asking asking us for more planetary influences such as Jupiter retrograde, which we did talk about last week quite a bit, and we are still going to talk about a couple other things that are happening. So stay tuned.
Yes. There's just a lot for us to talk about first, but like, because we've been talking about this coming energy, like getting closer. It's here. We've got Mars conjunct Venus in Leo from Wednesday through to Sunday, the 11th of July. So this is that kind of like sexy confidence, you know, and not just, it says the god of war is conjunct now with this beautiful goddess of love and the goddess of desire. We always say Venus is more than just love. Everyone thinks that Venus is love, but that's narrowing it down too much. Venus is the goddess of desire, the planet of desire, and because of course we all desire love, it gets kind of narrowed down to that, but all the things we desire. So we've got that kind of like conjunction with that, our motivation and what we will fight for and what we will assert ourselves for with our desires. And that's really nice, because that means that we can now really think, what do I really desire? What am I trying to create in my life, which is beautiful? Who do I love? And also loving yourself, that's very important too. And now I've got this confident motivation and this confidence in my desires to come together and really push through to make those things happen. Of course, in love, this can be confident, sexy times, but it's more than that. It's much, much more than that.
I was going to say that while you were just explaining, we were talking about Venus again, that it is true that a lot of people think just like love and beauty, but it is a lot of self-love and doing things that like you want to do. You know, Aphrodite, Venus, she, you know, didn't ever kind of stay in her own box. She did what made her happy, and always in confidence in herself. So it is not just love with some like another person, but it is self-love and being confident. And the fact that it's in Leo really gives you an opportunity to find some self-love for yourself and put it out there. Especially if you're trying to find confidence, because it is that Mars conjunct Venus. So there is kind of that, like Sarah's saying, that kind of like sexy time energy. And if you are in a relationship or something, you might find that you are feeling a little bit more confident to advocate for yourself, or to discuss your needs, or to discuss that you need some time alone for self-care, or that you need more time together. So it's a really good time to like really think about what you need and be able to confidently express that need.
It really is, and I think this is a great conjunction for anyone who's an artist in any way. Like art, if you're an artist, do your art during this time, because it's going to shine, it's going to be confident, you know, bright colors, poetry, music, all these things. It's a great, this is the artist's conjunction, I think, the creative's conjunction too, because of course Venus is the planet of art and of beauty and of poetry and all these things too, and of nature, like planting your gardens, whatever it is, wherever you find beauty, it's a conjunction for that as well.
I love it.
Yeah,
such good things.
I like that one.
We've been talking about this one, so exciting.
It's been getting closer here because we had first Mars go to Leo, and then Venus joined Mars in Leo, and now they're finally together in the sky. So that's lovely. And then of course, because Venus is conjunct with Mars, Venus goes into its opposition with Saturn as well on Sunday at the end of this week. So this is kind of like, this is kind of interesting, because if you've gone a bit too far with your confidence in love and your confidence in creativity, like Saturn's cold, and you kind of like, this can bring that restriction back in, this kind of face up to your truth, like, you know, is this right for you? You might have kind of like met someone new and gone full in there, or you might have started an artistic project and gone full in there. So here comes Saturn saying, ooh, you've rushed in a bit too far. Mars has taken you too far. Mars has just pushed you, and now I'm here to say, take a breath. Is this really what you should be doing? So this can be a little bit restrictive. It can bring that restriction in, and that kind of like, you can also feel fear and guilt. So be careful, like, don't let that win. You might sort of feel like, I've just started this beautiful artistic project, or I've just started writing this wonderful poem, this wonderful song, or I've just started this renewed love, or whatever it is that you desire. And then Saturn might come in and say, well, I don't think you're good enough. I don't think you're going to get to succeed in this. That painting you're doing that you think is going to sell isn't, you know, this is not good. So you might kind of like feel that kind of like, when we do start these wonderful projects and really go motivation with things we really want and really desire, then we get that, oh, I can't do this, it's not good enough. So that's going to kind of hit quite quickly after this. It can make you feel a bit sad and a bit alone and a bit like there's pressure from loved ones and that kind of thing. So I feel like just stay true to that creativity, stay true to yourself, and don't let those kind of like, it's a good thing, let that kind of feeling of truth and authority, like, is this really what I should be doing? Is this authentic? Is this like when Saturn says, is this authentic for you? Is this what you should be doing? If you've been led somewhere perhaps and feel like, no, actually this go with it motivation has taken me somewhere that isn't quite right for me, then that's great. But if you just feel like you're just getting that kind of like creative fear, then just like, no, stand firm.
Well, it sounds like, and I'll say it again, I've already said it, but I'll say it again, that it does. It has that common theme of, with all of these things, the Mars opposition Saturn, the Mars square Uranus, the Mars conjunct Venus, the Venus opposition Saturn, all these things that are happening, they all seem to kind of have, like, they have different themes because it's obviously different planets having different aspects. But at the end of the day, it still seems like just a time that before you do anything, before you give up on yourself, before you go act a fool, or you go, you know, do something wild, or you start this new relationship, or you start this thing, to just stop. So even if like you are in this Venus opposition Saturn time and you start to like talk yourself back from a project or something that you're doing, to stop, take a deep breath, and reevaluate, why am I saying this to myself? Let's not, you know, throw away, like you said, this painting when I still need to finish it, even if I'm starting to feel some self-doubt. You know, before you jump in headfirst into, you know, something that you're passionate about that may have a good outcome, may not, stop, take a deep breath, collect yourself, and to be aware. And that also is something we talked about because somebody brought up the Jupiter retrograde, that Jupiter is a planet of abundance and like wanting to expand, but you also have to be aware of those opportunities for expansion. It's like anytime you try to bring anything into you, you know, you want to be more abundant in something. I want to manifest something, that you have to be an active participant in that in order to make it be.
My blood keeps expanding.
Sarah just said something silly. That you have to be an active participant in getting what you want. You can't just put it out there and then not have it come.
said my
That's
butt
exactly
keeps
it.
expanding, and I'm not actively participating in my butt that keeps expanding. It's just doing it on its own.
Well, you say well,
There it goes.
there.
Oh, fantastic. I saw those on the witchery
That's
page.
a great outfit. I was
I
thinking
love
that I
it.
might want to buy one, but I'm thinking that I might be too busty for that top because of the material. I think it'll just like cinch up and I won't be able to pull it down over. So it's really a problem. So much expansiveness here. We're so expansive and abundant.
Jupiter expands us and it's abundant. And in the retrograde course, that's that kind of like pause, stop, look at it from another way. I feel like Jupiter in a retrograde, I feel like challenges us to think, what is abundance like for me? Am I looking for abundance in the right places? Am I like going for financial abundance where that's not actually the abundance that I need? Or I can love my more abundant body. I shouldn't like have society's view on what an abundant body is. Abundant bodies are wonderful. We've all got one. We've all got locked down. We've all got an abundant body right now.
See, my Jupiter is in my 5th house in Aries. So I have like a particular, Sarah is doing all sorts of like dances behind me with her abundance. So I am very expansive. Like I said, have become very busty post-natally. Well, I was already pretty busty, but now it's even worse. And so with all this happening in that area of my life and like in the 5th house, in that kind of lusty creative house, that I'm just so abundant and expansive. It's so great.
Hey. My chart ruler is Jupiter. I feel like Jupiter is just making everything a bit like expanded at the minute. like whoa. So, but yeah, I think Jupiter in retrograde, it's kind of like we all think, yeah, Jupiter brings abundance, Jupiter brings luck, but it doesn't bring luck just out of the air. It doesn't land on your lap. You have to. It shows you opportunities, and I feel like in Jupiter retrograde, it challenges us to see what opportunities have I got, and what opportunities am I not taking up? Because we all have opportunities in life that we look back and go, I should have done that, and I didn't. So just look at all the opportunities that are there. Maybe brainstorm in a journal all the opportunities that you have presenting yourself right now, and then just kind of think, okay, which opportunities are in that shadow? Which opportunities are like, if I look into myself, what am I missing here? What should I be taking up? It's a great retrograde for that, I think.
Yes.
And what do I mean by what do I want more abundant in my life? Because quite often times we all think financial abundance when really that's the least thing you want. What you want is abundance of happiness, of love, of health, of experiences of life, and often we just think that money buys all those things, but it doesn't always. So
No,
yeah,
that's true.
no one goes
all
to
true
or ends a life saying, I wish I'd had more money in my life. Everyone goes thinking, I wish I'd done more of this, or seen more people, had more friends, had more experiences, done more. No one says, I wish I'd had more money.
Yeah, that is true. That's why this is what we talked about last week when we talked about Jupiter retrograde, that when you're looking for like, why is this kind of this abundant thing kind of happening, and why aren't I abundant, like thinking that like it's gonna rain, make it rain, and it doesn't. It's abundance in like other things, and
that's right.
And to find those things and then be grateful for those things.
That's exactly it. It's also it's a nice energy this week, but it's like, it can be a little bit overwhelmed. So that's why we've got to keep that kind of calm too. And we have Mercury square Neptune as well on Sunday. And this is kind of like, this would normally kind of fog up our thinking and fog up our communication. But remember that Neptune is in retrograde right now. And the Neptune retrograde is interesting because Neptune's natural energy is foggy and escaping from ourselves and sort of like daydreaming and imaginative. So when Neptune's in retrograde, we are a bit clearer. So I kind of feel like Mercury square Neptune in Neptune retrograde could kind of like help us to use our imagination, because Neptune rules our imagination and our spirituality, but in a more kind of clear way. So rather than getting lost in a daydream and lost in foggy thoughts, I feel like we could like really use our imaginations in a way that is a bit more clarity than usual. So
yeah, be able to pin it down, maybe actually get those ideas and grab one.
Yes.
And take it out of that imagination space and bring it down to earth.
Yeah, rather than just getting lost in a fog of all these imaginations and daydreams. Yeah, so if you've got a daydream and you do some daydreaming, but actually pin it down and like think about it logically. Definitely.
I like it. I have Mercury as the secondary ruler of my chart, and it just needs to behave a little bit. It just needs to just take a back seat for a minute, because it definitely, if you've been joining us for the last few weeks, threw me for a loop. Mercury, Gemini, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
It just needs to simmer down now. It just needs to just take a breather.
Yeah.
Let some other things happen. So yeah, that's pretty much what's on deck for this week.
It is. Yeah. I think it's an exciting week. I think. Confidence, and creativity, and look for those opportunities.
Right.
And what you desire in life. I think this is a really good week. We've talked about a lot of weeks. We've said shadow work diaries and this kind of stuff. I think this is a really good week to like brainstorm and journal about what you really desire, what you really want to create, what you really imagine for your best life, what you really kind of like daydream about your best life, and then how can you actually make those things happen, and where are those opportunities that you could be missing, and how can you take control of your opportunities. I think it's a week for that.
Yeah. So be confident, look for opportunities, but look before you leap.
Yes. Take a step. Don't just go, just take a little step, right? Doing this right? Yeah.
Just look down.
Yeah. Go by the water before you do anything. Yeah. Be
the fool, but walk on some like solid ground and not off the cliff.
Yes.
Look before you leap.
It is. I pulled the full card in a very important spread this week, and I've now taken it out of my deck and got it standing. Like the fool does not need to get pulled out in any more readings. It's there. I know it's there, and I'm holding it there. But it is that kind of like, just making sure that you sort of walk that way, not that way off the cliff right now. Yeah. So
I like it.
Yeah.
So all good things.
Yes.
And just like with any astrological happenings, depending on who you are and what your chart has in store for you, things can vary a little bit. You might feel things more than other people feel them. It could be easy for you. It could be not as easy.
Absolutely.
So just go with it. Like I said, look before you leap, and be confident, be zesty, be a little bit fiery, get creative, take an anger jog, and don't trip. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for another wonderful Astro Forecast.
Thank you. I'm sorry about earlier on. My son, because I had to go to my iPad because the StreamYard link didn't come up on my computer for some reason. Then my son kept ringing me, and I kept going, no. He just kept going. Every time he rang, it kind of threw me off. So
no worries. We always make it. We're always we get it. We get it down. So yes. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week. Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, important. If you're in our Expedition to Soul Facebook group, you want to check out the events, because we have some Zoom chat set up to answer all you need to know about holistic witchery.
Yes.
Where Sarah's going to be there in a Zoom room to answer your questions, help you out, find out if holistic witchery is right for you. My personal opinion, it's right for everybody. It's great. It doesn't matter, what your thought process is, what you want to do. It's just a great program for your own self-care and your own growth, and it's open for enrollment. There's only like 7 days left, and we have limited spaces this time around too. So head over to Expedition to Soul group, find those events, mark them on your calendar, and come in with your questions to ask if you've ever been curious about holistic witchery or joining us in holistic witchery. So check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.